So the word came down this morning from Ben Johnson. Unfortunately for a lot of us Bears fans, Caleb Williams will not play this Sunday in the first preseason game at Soldier Field versus the Dolphins, and a whole lot of Bears fans are feeling some type of way. Welcome back to Bears Yard. This your boy Vipe, and yep, there will be no Caleb Williams. There will be no most of the starters playing on Sunday afternoon, as Ben Johnson said on the Hogan John podcast that 9 starters from the offense and 9 starters from the defense will not play. Although he did say that the battle of left tackle will go on, as I think Braxton, Ozzie are both going to play. Karan is injured still, so they both will play in that game, but no Caleb Williams and most of the starters. Now, a lot of people are feeling some type of way, and they're getting into their feelings because Caleb Williams isn't playing in the first preseason game. Calm down. Why isn't Caleb Williams playing in the preseason game? Well, let's talk about it. When Ben Johnson was asked this question a couple of days ago, he said that first he would have to talk to his staff and also talk to Dolphins head coach Mike McDaniel to see what McDaniel plans for the Dolphins were for the preseason game coming up on Sunday. Apparently, Mike McDaniel also is not playing most of his starters on Sunday. So let me ask y'all something. What in the Blue Monkey's nipple value could Caleb Williams and the Bears starting offense get from playing against Miami Dolphins backups in a preseason game? Please explain that to me. Explain it to me like I'm 5, okay? Because to me, it makes no damn sense. No, you're not doing that. You know what preseason football is, you all? It's fake football. Nobody's running a real offense. Nobody's running a real defense. We're just putting players out there just to entertain the fans mostly and for owners to make money and different things of that nature. But there's no real football being played. But you know what's not fake about preseason football? The hits. The injuries are not fake. So again, I ask you, why would you put your franchise quarterback out there against backups in a meaningless preseason game where he could realistically get hurt? Nobody's doing that, okay? Nobody's doing that. So can y'all please calm the hell down about Caleb Williams not playing on Sunday against the Dolphins? Now, does that mean he won't play at all this preseason? No. He's going to play. He'll probably play next week against the Buffalo Bills. Another reason why Caleb Williams and the starters are not going to play this Sunday is because today they had a joint practice with the Dolphins up at Hallis Hall. And by all accounts, the Bears defense absolutely dominated. Although Caleb Williams and the offense had their struggles with the false starts and different things like that, they did okay from what I see on the line and whatnot. But again, when you have a joint practice with the Dolphins where you're going up against their starters versus your starters, the coaching staff are going to get a lot more value out of seeing the joint practice as opposed to putting those boys out there on the field for a meaningless game where backups are playing on Sunday. So because of the joint practice, that's another reason why you won't see Caleb and the Bears offense start on Sunday, because the joint practice happened and Ben Johnson and his coaching staff got all of the intel that they needed from the joint practice. Although the Bears do have a joint practice scheduled with the Buffalo Bills next week as well. But again, usually the second preseason game of the schedule is where the starters play. I imagine that the Buffalo Bills will play their starters in that game, which means the Bears will play their starters in that game, and they will have some real live football. But the number one goal of any coaching staff as it relates to preseason football is to get your team as healthy as you can get them to week 1 of the regular season, when the games actually count, you all. So again, for all of y'all that got some type of attitude out there today because Ben Johnson is not starting Caleb Williams in a meaningless preseason game, let me ask you again, would you rather see him in preseason game 1, or would you rather see him in regular season week 1 against the Vikings on the lakefront? I know what my answer is. I hope I know what your answer is. I would much rather see him week 1 healthy against the Vikings on Monday night than some meaningless preseason game here on Sunday that doesn't make a monkey's hill nipple of difference. It doesn't matter, okay? So, preseason is fake football, but the hits are real, the injuries are real, and you have to get your team healthy to week 1. So when the other opposing coaching staff is not starting their starters either, it even makes less sense to send your starting people out there to play against backup. This is just common sense, people. Y'all just got to understand how football works and what Ben Johnson's agenda is as it relates to getting the Bears to week 1 as healthy as he can so we can have the best chance to take the North and never give it back. But let me know your thoughts. Are you mad that Caleb and the starters are not going to play this Sunday? Or maybe you understand why they're not playing? Let me know your thoughts. Drop a comment. Make sure you subscribe to the Yard for more things Chicago Bears. And if you want more of my opinions and thoughts about the Chicago Bears, check out that video right there.